done me and you bet I felt it. I tried to be chill, but you're so hot that I melted. I fell right through the cracks. Now I'm trying to get back. Before the cool done run out, I'll be giving it my best. This and nothing's gonna stop me but divine intervention. I reckon it's again my turn to win some or learn some, but I won't hesitate no more, no more. It cannot wait. I'm yours. Open up your mind and see like me. Open up your plans and damn, you're free. I look into your heart and you'll find love, 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 and love. Listen to the music of the moment, people dance and sing. We're just one big family, and it's our God-forsaken right.
Can we please stand for the national anthem?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Good morning. All right, are we all gonna get seated? So what an amazing performance by Kian from Carey Family Brandon Club. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this year's Great Futures Breakfast, where great futures start with you and me. My name is Angelique Sperling. I'm a corporate board member of the Boys and Girls Club, a co-chair for the Great Futures Breakfast, and a mom of a former club kid. For me, the Boys and Girls Club of Tampa Bay is close to my heart because it once helped my daughter, Sasha, cultivate her dream and passion in the arts. Long ago, it provided funds to help her develop her talent in the art form of ballet. And for that, I am forever grateful. I'm proud to be co-chair for the Great Futures Breakfast this year, along with our impact sponsor, Bill Winters. I'm blown away by all that we have accomplished together the past few years, and I'm so excited to see the impact we can make today. Bill?
Hey, good morning. Thanks for coming. Great turnout. I'm Bill Winters. I'm involved with the Boys and Girls Clubs because of the great work they do to nurture and advance more than 12,000 kids in our community. Today you'll hear about some of that great work, and you'll hear and you'll see some of the results. The results are outstanding. They're almost unbelievable. The return on investment to our community of the money that we contribute is amazing. On behalf of myself and my fellow co-chairs, Angelique Sperling and Richard Gonsmart, I'd like to thank all of our table captains, our guest speaker, Mona Dixon, and the club alumni and staff who are joining us. We have a big $1 million goal to reach this morning. Actually, I'd like to do a little better than that. But $1 million isn't just a number. Each dollar given provides support and direction to children in our community. We can only reach that goal and help our kids achieve their dreams and full potential if we all contribute what we can. A lot of what I'll be doing this morning is recognizing the sponsors who've really helped us out and made this event a success. To that end, for those people and companies who've already given, it's my honor to recognize our top sponsors of this morning's breakfast. Please hold any applause until all sponsors are announced. I believe they'll be showing up here. Presenting sponsor is the Steinbrenner family and the New York Yankees. The event sponsor is the Vinnick Family Foundation. Impact sponsor is the Winters family. The title sponsor is the Carroll Organization. The media sponsor is Cox Media Group. We'd also like to thank our Breakfast of Champions sponsors. Again, please hold your applause until all sponsors have been announced. PDQ, Glory Days Grill, George Etheridge Jr., Joe and Ann Garcia family, the Fuente Family Foundation, Sokolowski family, Ybor Rotary. Tiny bit off script, and they did give me a script. As I see these sponsors, I see these guys year round. These people are helping us out all year round, not just at this event, and I thank them for that.
Thank you, Bill. I'd also like to take a moment to thank our Platinum sponsors for changing the lives of our kids. Please hold your applause until all Platinum sponsors have been called. Antonori Financial Services, High Velocity, Validus Senior Living, Amer Factors, Mark and Lisa Jacobson, Jean McDonald and Sports Club of Tampa, ReliaQuest, Kevin Scott, MD and family, Blackstone Medical Services, Walter Family Foundation, Henderson Family Foundation. Thank you. There are a lot of exciting changes happening at the Boys and Girls Club of Tampa Bay. We are very fortunate to have a great team of leaders to help guide the kids. One such leader is our new president and CEO. Please welcome Freddie Williams.
Good morning, everyone. Hi, Freddie Williams, President and CEO of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Tampa Bay and Boys and Girls Clubs of the Suncoast. You know, this is my first Great Futures breakfast as the CEO. I've had the pleasure of serving and being here as a guest, but it's absolutely humbling seeing the amount of support and the energy that surrounds in this room. Additionally, it's been humbling to see the amount of support around the new shared service agreement that we've had among Boys and Girls Club with the community, recognizing that we're so much stronger when we can have a singular focus of focusing on kids and what's best in kids in our community. I'm a proud Boys and Girls Club alumni. The Boys and Girls Club saved my life as a kid, and it's one of the greatest honors to have the opportunity to serve in a leadership capacity in an organization that is deeply meaningful for me. There's several alumni in the room here today, and they can also attest to the power of a Boys and Girls Clubs and what the ability has. When you walk inside of a Boys and Girls Club, we have world-class programs that are led by talented staff. And I've been astounded by our staff and the ability and their focus and support of our clubs and our club kids. I'd like to draw everybody's attention so you can see a short video that says a day in a life inside of one of our Boys and Girls Clubs.
Since its founding in 1926, Boys and Girls Clubs of Tampa Bay has been on a mission to enable all young people, especially those who need us the most, to reach their full potential as productive, responsible, and caring citizens. Our organization serves more than 12,500 youth in Hillsborough and Pasco counties annually at our 25 clubs. We provide an educational, fun, safe haven for children of all colors and creeds to grow and thrive in our community. Through engaging programs focused on academics, health and wellness, and character and leadership, our caring staff are trained to guide, coach, and motivate kids to seek and achieve success. We believe building strong children is much easier than repairing broken men and women, so we consistently strive to empower our youth to excel in school and lead healthy, productive lives. We remain committed to ensuring club staff, all of our members, and their families have the resources necessary to navigate uncertain times by providing meals, programming, and support to those who need it most. Now more than ever, we look to our community, our advocates, and champions like you to help us continue in our cause. Together, we can make a positive difference in our world, one child at a time.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you. I'd now like to introduce a very special young man, and we were talking yesterday. I was a Boys and Girls Club alumni, but never had the honor of serving as a Youth of the Year, and I think I turned out okay as a contributing member of society, and I said, you know, you are much further along in life than I ever was at your age. He represents the Sam and Larry's Hashem Foundation Boys and Girls Club in Temple Terrace, and is our proud 2023 Boys and Girls Club of Tampa Bay Youth of the Year, Jordan Maxwell.
Wow, I get my own slide? Hello, I'm Jordan Maxwell, and I'm your 2023 Boys and Girls Club Youth of the Year and a second-generation club kid. In 2018, my parents moved my brothers and I to a new home in Temple Terrace. My brothers and I were so excited because we could all finally have a room to ourselves. However, I do recall one day my parents coming home and mentioning that this new Boys and Girls Club will be opening up in Temple Terrace. My brothers and I were skeptical, but my parents, they told us stories and regaled us of the times when they were younger when they went to the West Tampa Club. And so they sent us. And in that summer, we went on field trips, we met new people, and we met the club's staff, who were just simply amazing. Especially my mentor, Coach Devin, who's in the building now. He's my first ever mentor, my first ever coach. He treated me with respect, he genuinely cared for my well-being, and he helped me with my homework. I genuinely believe that my generation is so unique and amazing in so many ways. We have not only the power, but the responsibility to construct discussions about not only this country, but the world. And many of you today lack the motivation to succeed. However, I'm grateful and fortunate enough to have club staff, parents, and people who just genuinely care and listen to me. It means so much to me. It means so much having a constant motivator and cheerleader speaking positivity into you constantly. Because without that necessary support, it can become detrimental to you, such as myself. Over the past 4 years, attending the Boys and Girls Club has meant so much to me. It holds some of my most cherished memories. I got my first job here as a club youth leader, and I even saw a whole global pandemic. It was also at the Boys and Girls Club where I was introduced to HBCUs and decided where I wanted to go to university. I want to go to Howard University and double as a music and business administration major. As a senior in high school, looking toward the future, to college and to being a young adult, I will always hold the Boys and Girls Club in high esteem. This place was a training grounds for me. And this place has so many unforgettable memories that I could list them, but we have a program to run, so I can't do that. But this is where I grew up. And I can't thank my parents, and I can't thank my wonderful staff, especially Coach Devin, who've afforded me so many valuable opportunities, and so many times where I had to laugh, and so many times where I just had opportunities to grow. And so thank you to all of you. Now, our coaches and mentors at the club play a huge role in giving us the encouragement to become the best versions of ourselves. They teach us to have confidence in our abilities and keep fighting for our dreams. You all in this room have the opportunity today to help us make all of our dreams come true. Thank you for all your support. With that in mind, I am excited to welcome from the Wilbert Davis Belmont Heights Club, the talented singer Zaria Anderson, performing A Million Dreams.
Waiting up for me that I call my own. Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care if they call us crazy. We can live in the world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams, that's all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make. There's a house we can build. Every room inside is filled with things from far away. And special things I comply, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say we've lost our minds. I don't care if they call us crazy. Run away to the world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams, all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make. However big, however small, let me be a part of it all. Share your dreams with me. You may be right, you may be wrong, but say that you bring me along to the world you see, to the world I close my eyes to see. I close my eyes to see. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams, all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make. For the world we're gonna make. Thank you.
What a beautiful performance by Soraya. Wow, these kids have so much talent, from her to Jordan. Wow, I think I'm embarrassed being up here now. The clubs are very important to our youth, going back to the script, and it wouldn't be possible without the support of our community and friends. Please help me recognize all the great supporters who have been loyal contributors to the Boys and Girls Club mission, such as our gold sponsors. TSI Adjusters, Rockbridge Insurance, Roche Surety and Casualty, Dennis and Doris Alvarez, Mike and Rochelle Betke and DLA Piper, Phelps Dunbar, Ernie Carrera with Carrera Financial Wealth and Management and ExecuJet, BNY Mellon, Vic and Jamie Holcomb and Virginia Cole, Amscott Financial, AAA, Cigna, Valley Bank, George and Isabel Adams, Catering by the Family. We would like to also thank our clubhouse sponsors, Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, Sam and Laurice Heacom Family Foundation, and Michelle Meredith Eckerd, Hernandez Law, Bill and Lorraine Winters, Thompson, Joey, Nick, and Carl Brandis, Flory and Patrick Willis Family and Lincoln National, Furman Chevy North Del Mabry. Please, a round of applause for these amazing sponsors. We couldn't do this without you.
What we've seen throughout the years, a lot of years, is that every act of generosity and support makes an impact. Our silver and bronze sponsors, many loyal supporters of Boys and Girls Clubs, continue to change lives in our community. Rotary Club of Tampa, DeBartolo Family Foundation, Furman Motor Cars, Bonefish Grill, GTE Financial, Baycare, Rooms to Go Foundation, Joe Reddick at Ameriprise Financial Services, Roger Robson, PNC Private Bank, Bill and Lori Winters. And our loyal bronze sponsors, Larry and Donna Beavis, Matt and Tina Dumar, Dan and Arlene Hevia, Sedco, AT&T, Life Plan MD, Elaine Diaz, Julie Holt, Assurance Dimensions. Many of you are familiar with our next speaker. Please welcome our current corporate board chair and always a leading table captain for the breakfast, also a good basketball player, a great chess player, Matt Dumar.
Thank you, Bill and Angeli. As Freddie said, In our clubs every day is where it really all happens. It's where the rubber hits the road. And I'm so grateful that all of you are here today because you are the hub of our wheel and the spokes of our wheel that keep us steady in serving our mission. And I'm really grateful to one of those supporters this year who took on the role of our interim CEO for almost half a year, just out of the goodness of his heart, and that's Larry Beavis. And really, thank you, Larry, for doing that. And now it's my pleasure to introduce our featured speaker. She lived in a cardboard box. She was homeless until the age of 13, living on the streets and living in shelters. And a few short years later, she was honored by and nominated by President Obama and also received the well-earned Boys and Girls Clubs of America National Youth Award. Mona was appointed to serve as the youngest member of the U.S. Presidential Committee alongside 4 other distinguished individuals. It's my honor that I invite our featured speaker, Mona Dixon, to the podium so she can share her story from cardboard box to the White House. Mona?
Good morning, everyone. Oh, it's bright and early, and it's like 6 a.m. back in Phoenix, so I know you can do better than that. So good morning, everyone. It is a pleasure and an absolute honor to be with you all this morning to share my story on how the Boys and Girls Club was an absolute blessing in my life and how it took me from being homeless and living on the streets to where I am today. So thank you all once again for being here and for those who are watching at home as well. For me, I'm 31 years old now, but I was actually homeless up until I was 13. And my mom, she actually had a rough upbringing after her mother was murdered when she was 12 years old. So fast forward, she had my sister at 16 and had me at 17 and had my brother not too long after that at 21 years old. And I always talk about how I remember going into dumpsters, and there would be nights where we would pull out cardboard boxes and we would sleep on them because that's all we had to lay on and to call our bed for that night. And I remember I would always like pull out these Ziploc baggies full of school books and I would read them and try to imagine myself as a character to kind of feel safe in that type of situation that we were in. But no matter where we lived, my mom always said that like college was going to be the key to my success and that we had to go to school. And that was pretty difficult. We would get ready for school in gas station bathrooms, and sometimes my mom would get us to a shelter in time because some people was like, why don't your mom just get a job and why don't you guys can stop being homeless? But we were stuck in this kind of cycle of homelessness. For example, we'd go to a Salvation Army, but the Salvation Army only had a certain amount of cots available and you had to get there by a certain time in the evening. So if my mom worked a full-time job, then we wouldn't get there in time to get a cot to sleep at night. So she had to work a part-time job, but now we don't have enough money to live. So it was kind of this cycle that was very, very difficult to get out of. And then once I got to school, I wondered, like, how was I expected to think about a hard math problem or a hard vocabulary word or anything when I was thinking about where my next meal was coming from, or if my family's okay, or better yet, where am I gonna sleep tonight? And it was even harder for me when teachers would ask questions like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And all these kids would raise their hands and say what they wanted to be, and the teachers would give them all of these words of encouragement. But when I gave my answer, it was almost as if I could see doubt in their eyes, like, how could you possibly want to be something like that and you don't have a support system? Or how could you possibly want to be something like that and you don't have two parents at home? Or even better, and better yet, how could you possibly want to be something like that and you don't even have a place to lay your head at night? But it was when my mom made that decision to make one more move, and I hated that. I hated to move because that meant that I had to make more friends and new friends, it meant I had to continue to explain to people why my clothes were torn or why they were dirty or why I had to wear the same clothes over and over and over again. But that move turned out to be the best of my life because once we got out of a shelter and on Section 8 and food stamps, the Boys and Girls Club happened to be right behind my first apartment that I ever lived in. And I used to be ashamed, and I used to be shy. I'm not shy anymore. I could talk to you forever, but we got a time limit today, and I'm keeping track here. But I walked to the Boys and Girls Club one day, and the kids used to always say, Mona, can you come to the club? Can you come to the club? And I'm like, no, I got to do stuff at home. But in all actuality, I didn't go because I knew that it would cost something, and I didn't know what that something was, but that something was going to be too much for my family to afford. But my mom, she was never afraid to like ask for help or ask questions. So I went there and I said, what do I have to do to come to the Boys and Girls Club, my 12-year-old self? And the lady at the front desk said, well, you have to bring back this application and this $20 membership fee. And I said, okay. And then I grabbed the application and I put my head down and I was just gonna walk out and never come back because I couldn't afford $20. My mom could have spent that on toilet paper or toothpaste or food or anything else at the Dollar Tree to help us survive. So I almost was ashamed to go to my mom and ask her to provide something for me that I know would be a burden to her. And it was as if, and I don't know if you, for those of you who've ever been to a Boys and Girls Club, kids running in, out, in, out, in, out, it's insane. But that lady, she focused in on me in that moment, and she said, hey, wait, come back. And she said, just bring that application form, and don't worry about the rest. And I said, okay. And I talk about how that changed the rest of my life. That lady paid my $20 membership fee for me, and it allowed me to be where I am today. And so fast forward, I'll tell you all about the Boys and Girls Club and what it did for me. So I walked into that Boys and Girls Club. I no longer had to worry about where my next meal was coming from because we had food programs at the Boys and Girls Club. I no longer had to worry about resources to be successful because the Boys and Girls Club eliminated that for me at the Boys and Girls Club. I no longer could say I didn't have a pencil or Wi-Fi or a laptop to do my homework because the computer lab was open until 9 p.m. so I could get ahead in my classes. I had tutors, I had mentors. I volunteered in programs and was participating in Keystone, which is a teen leadership program that focuses on career exploration, academic success, and community service. And that taught me that I didn't have to be, I could make a difference no matter where I was in life. So here I was as a 13-year-old girl, but I knew that I could make a difference in the community. I was able to go back to the same shelter that I lived in and feed the homeless because of my Boys and Girls Club. And that led to a service in my heart that led me to be appointed by former President Obama to serve on the Corporation for National and Community Service. So that was an amazing accomplishment for me, but it all started at the Boys and Girls Club. And then fast forward, I remember there was a time at the Boys and Girls Club where I got my first job there that helped me support my family as well. But I remember my staff came up to me one day and he said, Mona, I want you to be the Youth of the Year. And I said, okay, well, what is that? And I used to do everything to kind of pad my resume so I can get scholarship money and go to school. So I would get involved in anything and everything that I could to become the most well-rounded individual so that I could get scholarship money and afford to go to college. And so when he said, be Youth of the Year, and I said, okay, I'll do Youth of the Year. What is it? And he said, well, you have a speech on the Boys and Girls Club and what it's done for you and how it's impacted you. I said, okay, I could do that. And then he said, and then it involves your academics, your grades, community service, extracurricular. I said, okay, we're good. And then he was like, and then you tell your story of how you overcame homelessness. I said, absolutely not. And then he said, well, why not? And I said, no, you want me to get on stage and tell people how I grew up. You want me to tell people about something that I'm ashamed of or try to hide from. And he said, well, Mona, you get scholarship money. I said, okay, sign me up. So fast forward, I did the Youth of the Year competition, and going forward, you start at your club in the local level, and then the state level, and a regional level. And then in 2010, I became the National Youth of the Year for Boys and Girls Clubs of America. Thank you. And that was absolutely amazing. And the journey that I'm about to share with you right now, because of the Boys and Girls Club, was incredible. And it never would have happened if I never walked into the Boys and Girls Club that day. Starting with, I got all that scholarship money. So I was awarded with $100,000 in scholarships. And that led me, I got my bachelor's in business management, my communications studies communication studies with emphasis in advocacy was my master's program. And 2 months ago, I graduated with my doctorate in organizational leadership. Thank you. But one of the coolest things was when I was 17 years old, I got to go to the White House and meet the former president of the United States, President Barack Obama. And for me, it was an amazing thing just because I got to be in the Oval Office with the President of the United States, who, despite who it was in that office. And I remember when I walked in there, and I got to go there with Denzel Washington, by the way. So that was even better. I rode there in the truck with him, who actually forgot his ID that day. And the security, one of the guys said, well, he thinks he's going to get into the thing just because he's Denzel Washington, because he didn't have his ID. And I'm thinking and I'm 17, I'm thinking well, ID is to identify you, and who doesn't know this is Denzel Washington? So we go to the White House, and another security guard comes right out and says, hey, Mr. Washington, and lets him right in. So, and then Denzel looks over at the other security, and I'm like, ooh, he told him. So fast forward, we go into that Oval Office, and I'm sitting in there, and we're standing in there, and so many people ask me, Mona, what did you say? And I'm like, nothing. I just stood there, and I was just smiling and taking it all in, because for me, I was 17 years old. But literally 4 years before that, at 13, I was living in a homeless shelter. So I never would have dreamed or imagined that I would be standing in front of the President of the United States. So that was definitely a really cool experience. He gave us presidential seal M&Ms, a pocket constitution, all kinds of things. But some other things that I've gotten to do is go on a tour with Lauren Daigle for 13 shows all over the country to help raise money for Boys and Girls Clubs all over the country. And then I did a commercial with Mark Wahlberg that raised over $1 million to help teens graduate from high school. I was recognized by LeBron James, my favorite basketball player, who gave me the shoe that I still have today. And he talked about how I inspire him to be a better person, a better father, and a better friend. So that was an absolute blessing to know that little old Mona could inspire someone who inspires millions of people all over the world. But of course, that came from the Boys and Girls Club. But I definitely just want to talk about how none of these things would have been possible if I didn't walk into the Boys and Girls Club. And I told you when I spoke before, my motivation was scholarship money. But then the more and more that I do this, I've learned that my motivation is to help thousands and millions of kids continue to have the same opportunities that I did when I walked through the Boys and Girls Club every single day. And I've been to so many clubs. There's big Olympic-sized pools in clubs, and then there's clubs that are in apartment buildings, and you wouldn't even imagine. It's really interesting. However, each and every one of those clubs make the same impact on these kids. They have a formula, they have a system, and it works. It worked for me, it worked for Jordan, and it's still working for so many other kids today. It also worked for Sasha as well, as you've heard. So it continues to work. So I just want to thank you all for continuing to invest in this program, whether it's your time or your dollars or your companies as well. It all truly does make a difference. And I talked about how that $20 made a difference for me today. So every dollar counts for these kids. And one thing that I love about the Boys and Girls Club is they never turn any kid away. And so many different types of kids walk through the Boys and Girls Club. It's not just there's a lot of stereotypes that it's just for poor kids, but it's not. It's a place that supports kids and teach them how to have great character, how to be great citizens, how to have financial literacy, how to work together in teamwork in sports. They help you with your homework. So it's a program that complements these kids and their education, and it's very much needed, especially after COVID and the kids are trying to get back on track and catch back up. So I just want to thank each and every one of you today for being here and for believing in the work of the Boys and Girls Club, because I truly am a product of the club. And last but not least, I have to do what's most important here today. I know each and every one of you probably came here today with a specific dollar amount in mind, and you said, okay, this is what I'm going to give, and this is what I have to give. But I'm going to ask you today if you can just stretch a little bit further, and let's go a little bit further for these youth that we're trying to provide for today. Not too long ago, I had a graduation dinner, and literally every single person in that room, I invited everyone from my Boys and Girls Club staff to my 6th grade English teacher. The majority of the people that were in that room, half the room, was my Boys and Girls Club staff, and they were my village. And one thing that I left each and every one of them with was a keychain, and it was a starfish keychain, and I'll close with this story. For those of you who don't know that story, there was a young boy who was walking down the street, a beach, and he kept picking up all of these starfish that came in from the tide, and he just kept throwing them back in, one by one. He would pick it up and throw it back in. And this older man came by and he said, "What are you doing? Why are you doing that?" And he said, "Well, I have to save the starfish. I have to give them another chance. I'm trying to throw them all back in the water." And the guy said, "Well, there's thousands of these on the beach. You can't possibly make a difference." And the little boy bent back down and he picked up one more starfish and he threw it in the water. And he said, "But I made a difference for that one." And that's what the Boys and Girls Club did for me, and is continuing to do for millions of youth and thousands of youth right here in Tampa Bay. So once again, I thank you all for being here today, for investing in the lives of our youth, because they are our future. And thank you for being a part of our village. So thank you and happy holidays, and have a great, wonderful rest of your day.
Mona, if you could, please accept this token of our appreciation. We really thank you for coming here this morning and inspiring us all with your story, and trust us, we are inspired. Thank you again, Mona, for being an inspiration to the club youth like me. I hope to learn from your courage and ambition. As Youth of the Year, it has been an amazing experience to engage with such strong leaders and learn from their example. I am proud to introduce a longtime supporter and foundation trustee of the Boys and Girls Clubs. He formerly served as the foundation's chairman and is currently managing managing a general partner for the New York Yankees. As a presenting sponsor of today's event, it is an honor to welcome Hal Steinbrenner to the stage.
Talk about a tough act to follow. Thank you, Glenn. So I want to start, obviously, by thanking everyone here. I mean, this breakfast raises a lot of money for the clubs, and I can assure you the need has never been greater, and we will put it to very good use. This year, as was mentioned before, we served 12,500 youth at our 25 clubs. When we look at our youth and we look at these kids as a group, we see that 98% of them have income that qualifies as low or very low. 2/3 of them, 66%, come from a single-parent household. And 27%, over a quarter of them, are teenagers, obviously very important years. So what are we doing at these 25 clubs? Well, put simply, we're teaching these kids and giving them life skills that they'll need to be contributors to this great country of ours. We focus on three main areas, the most important being academics. When kids get to the clubs, the first thing they do is get busy on their homework. We have tutors there that help them. And we make sure they get done everything they're supposed to get done and learn everything they're supposed to learn. From day one, we really emphasize that getting a high school diploma in this country is not a luxury, it's a necessity. It's something that they need to do. It's extremely important. And we stress that the day they walk into the clubs. Health and fitness, very important. We teach them the importance of nutrition, the importance of exercise. Obviously, there's a lot of sports that happen at the clubs. And we also serve a lot of snacks and healthy meals, over 500,000 this year alone at our 25 clubs. And it's important to remember for some of these kids, probably a lot of these kids, the meal that they get at the club that afternoon is the last meal they'll get the entire day. Character and leadership, obviously very important as well. And not just leadership within the clubs, but leadership within the community. This year, 2023, our kids served 49,000 community service hours. That's something we're very, very proud of. So how do we know these programs work? And there are many, many programs that these kids go through on a daily basis. Well, we compare our kids to their peer group. We compare our kids to the kids that live in their neighborhoods and go to their schools but don't attend our clubs and don't go through our programs. And the differences are very significant along a lot of metrics. But the two that are most important to me, that I feel are most important, only 1% of our kids are involved in the juvenile justice system. When you look at their peer group, again, the kids that don't go to these clubs, the number is significantly higher. Most important of all, and the thing that I'm most proud of, only 80% of their peer group graduate from high school in this city. That's a troubling number, to say the least. 100% of our kids got high school diplomas and graduated high school this year. You look at any other program in the country, I mean, obviously it doesn't get better than 100%. It's really an incredible stat. So it proves that everything we're doing, everything our hardworking counselors and our tutors at the 25 clubs are doing is working. It's making an impact in the lives of these children. And obviously we cannot do this day in and day out, 365 days a year without people like you, great contributors. So I thank you personally for everything you do, and I'm sure we're going to hit over $1 million. I hope to see that on the screen at some point. So I'd like to turn all of your attention to the screens behind me for a very special video. Thank you.
This year for Christmas, what are you hoping to get?
A computer. Big, giant Barbie house.
A trophy case.
Xbox 360. Minecraft Legos.
What do you think your mom or dad want for Christmas?
My mom would probably want a ring. She's never really had a ring.
Jewelry. She loves jewelry. A new TV. My watches.
So, we actually did buy an Xbox 360.
What in the world? And what is this? Okay, and you really got this for me?
A new laptop.
Wow.
And
It's a necklace.
So we also bought a necklace because you said you also wanted to get a necklace for your mom or your auntie. The catch is that you can either get a gift for yourself, or you can pick a gift for your mom and dad. I need you to pick one. Now before you answer, oh, I bet that's hard. Is that a really hard question?
Mm-hmm.
What gift do you pick?
I choose this.
I gotta go with the ring.
What gift do you pick?
That one. That one. The dress.
I'll choose this for my mom.
I'll choose this one.
It's a really tough question.
I'll
but
give him this.
You already know? Tell me why.
Because Legos don't matter. Your family matters. Not Legos, not toys, your family. So it's either family or Legos, and I choose family. I get gifts every year from my family, and my mom don't get anything. If I get a laptop, my mom will get something. She helps me when I'm sick. She helps me with my homework. She gave me a house to live in.
They look out for me and do stuff for me, so I need to give back to them.
Now I have the opportunity to give him something.
Because you actually picked the gift for your family, you're actually gonna go home with both. Tell me how you're feeling.
I'm feeling really happy and thankful.
Just happy. Thankful.
For your family? For what?
My family, everything.
He did make his decision, actually. And he picked the Pandora charms.
Oh, that is... You're gonna make me cry. So where you putting the thing? In your room. Oh, it's for me? Oh, it's so cute.
Thanks, guys.
I was crying too.
Me doing this today, co-chairing this event, raising funds for our youth, is my way of giving back. You all have an opportunity to give now, either on your phone, using the instructions shown on the screen, or via the envelopes on the tables. Please show your support by generously and by helping transform this great community that we all call home. You can participate by texting GFB 2023 to the number 71777, as seen on the screen behind me. There we go. Okay, we need, another $40,000, please. Whichever way you prefer, there's always a way to donate, so please donate today.
The lights up here are amazing. They're just blasting right at us, and that's really all I can see. Table captains, you are now invited to share your story of commitment to Boys and Girls Clubs at Tampa Bay and answer any questions your guests may have. There are envelopes on your tables with instructions included. Please place the pledges in your envelopes once the guests have completed their giving. Of course, guests can also give by texting the number on the screen or by scanning the QR code with your phones located in the center of your table. Table captains, please remember to collect all pledge cards. Apparently this has been a problem in the past. Please remember to collect all pledge cards at your table and place them in the captain's envelope and turn it in at the registration table out there before leaving. After your gift is made, we ask that everyone please stay seated until the program concludes. It now has something that says, table captains, make your pitch.
Table captains, make your pitch. So on behalf of all the co-chairs, Bill, Richard, and myself, we would like to thank our guest, Mona, or Dr. Mona Dixon, for her inspirational message, and all of our speakers for joining us this morning. Hal Steinbrenner, your family is always very supportive of the clubs, and you are a joy to have at this breakfast. And thank you to everyone in this room for giving from your heart to make a difference in our community. The text to give donation line will remain active through the week. I encourage you to reflect on the amazing stories you've heard, the lives that have been changed, and please consider donating as an investment in our children's future and their dreams. This is the conclusion of this morning's program. Please leave your contributions and pledges with your table captain. On behalf of all our clubs, staff, board members, thank you to all of our sponsors. We couldn't do this without you. And everyone who supports youth in our community, we are wishing you a wonderful holiday season. Thank you.